Before Columbus, before the Founding Fathers, before the first European ever sketched North America on a map, a civilization existed that was so advanced, so organized, and so mysteriously powerful that early explorers refused to believe indigenous people built it. A city bigger than London. Mysterious mounds aligned with the cosmos. Trade networks stretching thousands of miles. And then, suddenly, it vanished. Today, we uncover the lost American civilization they never taught you in school. Cahokia. To understand this lost world, we have to travel back 1,000 years. Not to Egypt, not to Mesopotamia, but to what is now the American Midwest. Around 1050 AD, near present-day St. Louis, a massive ancient city rose along the banks of the Mississippi River. A city built by the Mississippian culture, Indigenous Americans whose engineering, astronomy, and political structure rivaled some of the greatest early civilizations on Earth. This wasn't a village. This wasn't a tribe in isolation. This was a metropolis, home to possibly 40,000 people, more than most European cities of the same era. The rise. How a megacity emerged in the heart of America. Cahokia didn't rise overnight. Its power came from one thing that ancient civilizations always needed. Location. Where the Missouri, Mississippi, and Illinois rivers meet, Cahokia became the beating heart of a massive trade network. Copper from the Great Lakes. Shells from the Gulf of Mexico. Obsidian from the Rocky Mountains. Mica from the Appalachians. This city was plugged into everything. Imagine New York, but year 1100. A crossroads of culture, ideas, and wealth. And then, something sparked an explosion of growth. Archaeologists call it the Cahokian Big Bang. Around 1050 AD, the population skyrocketed. Homes doubled. New districts were planned. People flooded in from distant regions. Someone, or something, unified them. A ruler, a prophet, a council of elites. We still don't know, but the results? Undeniable. Welcome to Cahokia at its peak. A skyline dominated by Monk's Mound, a massive earthen pyramid taller than a 10-story building and covering more ground than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Temples crown the mound tops, their wooden beams rising toward the sky like desert skyscrapers. And surrounding all of it, plazas the size of football fields, arranged with mathematical precision. But here's the real masterpiece. A solar observatory. Nicknamed Woodhenge. Dozens of enormous timber posts arranged in perfect circular alignment with the solstices and equinoxes. This wasn't random. This wasn't primitive. This was observatory-level astronomy, right in the middle of North America. Cahokia also had professional artisans, religious elites, athletes, specialized farmers, political administrators, warriors, long-distance merchants. This wasn't just culture. This was civilization. And it thrived. People danced during festivals. Priests tracked the heavens. Crowds filled plazas for ritual games. Life flowed through the city like the Mississippi itself. But great civilizations always carry great mysteries. And Cahokia's biggest one was buried beneath its own success. For all their achievements, the Cahokians lived in a world of tension, political, environmental, and spiritual. Recent excavations show signs of internal conflict, elite power struggles, rapid urban overcrowding, resource pressure, defensive palisade walls, walls around the city. Why? Some say invasions from northern tribes. Others say internal civil war. Others believe the elites promised celestial order, but when the skies changed, the people lost faith. But there's another mystery. Just outside Cahokia lies Mound 72, a burial site unlike anything else in ancient North America. Inside, a high-status individual laid on a bed of thousands of shell beads arranged in the shape of a bird. Over 250 other people. Many young women buried with him. Human sacrifice? A spiritual ritual? A political transition? Whatever happened here, it marked a turning point. Cahokia's power came from unity, but its downfall came from the forces every empire fears. Instability, hunger, and the wrath of nature. By the year 1300, the largest city in ancient America was empty. No fire, no mass graves, no invader's footprint, just silence. So what happened? Most researchers believe it wasn't one thing, it was many. Environmental decline. Centuries of farming drained the soil. Forests were cut for building mounds. Flood patterns worsened. Social tension. Crowded districts. Food shortages. Competition for hierarchy. Climate shift. The Little Ice Age began, causing colder winters and unpredictable crops. The people didn't vanish, they migrated. Cahokia didn't collapse. Its citizens moved outward, becoming the ancestors of tribes like the Osage, the Quapaw, the Pawnee, and others across the Midwest and South. The civilization didn't die, it transformed. But European settlers later misinterpreted the mounds, refusing to believe indigenous people built such a complex city. And so, Cahokia became a ghost in America's memory, a lost civilization hiding in plain sight. Why this story still matters. Today, Cahokia stands as proof of something powerful. America had cities, science, engineering, religion, and organized society long before Europeans arrived. The descendants of its people still live, breathe, speak, and remember across the continent. And the story of Cahokia isn't just ancient history. It's a reminder that civilizations rise, shine, struggle, adapt, and sometimes disappear. Not because they fail, but because they change. And the land remembers. To understand Cahokia at its height, imagine waking up in the year 1150 AD, in the heart of the largest city in North America. The morning sun rises over a skyline of towering earthen pyramids. Homes built from wood, thatch, and clay stretch as far as the eye can see. Smoke rises gently from cooking fires. Children run across the plazas. Merchants pack their goods for trading. Priests begin their rituals. And in the center of it all stands the colossal Monk's Mound, the sacred mountain of the Cahokians, a city with neighborhoods. Archaeologists discovered that Cahokia was divided into residential districts, elite compounds, craft workshops, ceremonial areas, farmlands at the edges. This wasn't random. Everything had order. Some districts specialized in pottery, others in stone tools, others in shell jewelry. Certain neighborhoods were home to immigrants from distant tribes, evidence of cultural fusion. Cahokia was a melting pot before the phrase even existed. The architects of Earth. The engineering of the mounds was mind-blowing. These mounds weren't piles of dirt. They were layered like cakes. Clay for strength, sand for drainage, soil for stability, sometimes even woven mats in between. It could take years to build a single mound, decades for the largest. And yet, they built 120 of them. Some served as temples, some as council houses, some as burials for important figures. Some were astronomical markers. Every mound had meaning. The sacred plaza. At the foot of Monk's Mound was a massive open plaza, so large it could host thousands of people during ceremonies. Imagine drumbeats echoing through the city, priests in feathered cloaks leading rituals, dancers moving in large circles, spectators gathered shoulder to shoulder. This wasn't just religion. This was unity. It kept the people connected, spiritually and politically. To truly grasp Cahokia, you must understand the Mississippian belief system. They saw the universe as divided into three interconnected realms. Number 1. The above world. Realm of the sun, stars, birds, celestial beings. Associated with order and divine power. Number 2. The middle world. The physical world, where humans lived. Connected to agriculture, hunting, and community. Number 3. The beneath world. A watery realm under the earth. Home to serpents, spirits, and the forces of chaos. Cahokia's rulers claimed they could bridge these realms. The mounds themselves were symbols of this connection. Earth, the middle world, raised upward. Into the sky, the above world. Yet built from soil near rivers, the beneath world. This spiritual authority is one reason the rulers held immense power. Let's step into Cahokia's Woodhenge. Picture a massive circle of wooden posts, each one as tall as a palm tree. Every post placed with precision, perfectly aligned to track solstices, equinoxes, harvesting seasons, religious festivals, celestial movements. During the summer solstice, the sun would rise exactly over a special mound. During winter solstice, it would align with another. This wasn't coincidence. It was cosmic architecture. Cahokia's leaders used astronomy to guide planting seasons, ceremonial dates, predictions of floods or changes, political legitimacy. If a ruler predicted the pattern of the sun correctly, he gained respect. If he failed, people questioned his power. This dynamic may have shaped the rise and fall of Cahokia's political system. At its peak, Cahokia controlled a giant economic network across the continent. Trade goods flowing in, copper from Lake Superior, soapstone from the Appalachians, shell beads from the Gulf, quartz from Arkansas, obsidian from the west, mica from the Smoky Mountains. These items weren't just pretty, they were used in rituals, tools, jewelry, and elite symbols. In return, Cahokia gave out finely crafted ornaments, ceramic pottery, stone blades, cultivated crops, cultural influence. Imagine a continent-wide marketplace long before any European set foot here. Cahokia was the Wall Street of ancient America. Historians still debate how Cahokia was governed. Some believe it had a paramount chief, a powerful ruler with religious authority. Others say multiple elites shared power. Some argue for a more democratic council. But one thing is clear. Cahokia wasn't a simple tribe. It had elite residences, planned neighborhoods, central authority, large-scale public works, ritual complexes, controlled redistribution of food. In other words, organized government. Recent discoveries revealed something astonishing. Cahokia established satellite towns hundreds of miles away. They controlled small trade hubs, ceremonial centers, and farming villages. Some sites in Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Tennessee show Cahokian influence. Similar pottery styles, similar mound shapes, similar ritual practices. Signs of Cahokian immigrants. This wasn't just a city. It was almost an empire. Archaeologists found evidence of large palisade walls built around the central district. Walls built twice, then rebuilt again. Something threatened Cahokia. But what? Possibility number 1. Internal civil war. Elite factions may have competed for power. As the city grew, different districts may have clashed. Possibility number 2. External attacks. Rival tribes or migrating groups may have challenged Cahokia's dominance. Possibility number 3. Social unrest. Overcrowding and food shortages could spark riots or rebellion. Possibility number 4. Breakdown of belief. If leaders failed to maintain cosmic order, such as predicting celestial events, the people may have lost faith. As the walls went up, something else happened. The plazas changed. The mounds were modified. Traffic routes shifted. The entire social structure began to transform. Why a city of 40,000 emptied out? By the 1200s, cracks in the civilization were spreading. Environmental pressure. Cahokia needed huge amounts of timber for houses, walls, fires, temples, construction of mounds. Forests around the city were gradually cleared. Flood patterns worsened. Soil fertility declined. Climate instability. A massive drought hit the Midwest. Crops failed. Food production shrank. People grew desperate. Disease and sanitation issues. Urban density meant waste and contamination became problems. Political collapse. Elites lost authority. Rituals changed. People began leaving the central district. Gradual migration. Instead of a dramatic end, Cahokia slowly entered. Neighborhoods were abandoned. Villages sprouted along rivers. People formed new communities. The civilization didn't die, it spread. Where did the Cahokians go? Their descendants likely became part of nations such as Osage Nation, Quapaw Tribe, Pawnee Nation, Choctaw, influenced by Mississippian culture, Chickasaw, Catawba. Their languages, symbols, stories, and cultural practices preserved fragments of the Cahokian world. Some tribes preserved memories of mound-building ancestors, skywatching priests, sacred plazas, a great city to the north. The legacy never truly disappeared. The Rediscovery. Europeans failed to believe the truth. When European settlers arrived in the 1700s and 1800s, they saw the mounds and refused to believe indigenous people built them. Some claimed Vikings made them. Egyptians built them. A lost tribe of Israel constructed them. Survivors of Atlantis created them. Anything except the truth. Colonial writers couldn't accept that advanced civilization existed in America before Europe. So the real story was buried. Literally and culturally. Cahokia was ignored, dismissed, and forgotten. Until archaeologists in the 20th century began piecing the city back together. Why this lost civilization matters today. Cahokia challenges everything people assumed about ancient America. It proves that North America had cities before Europeans. Indigenous societies were architects and astronomers. American history is far older and richer than commonly taught. Sophisticated civilization existed in the heartland. The story of America did not begin in 1492. Today, Cahokia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, visited by people from around the world. But the mounds still hold secrets. Only a small percentage has been fully excavated. Much of the city remains buried beneath modern buildings. And every year, new discoveries rewrite pieces of the story. Cahokia isn't just the past. It's a reminder. A reminder that civilizations rise where we least expect. A reminder that history is deeper than textbooks. A reminder that the first great American city wasn't New York, Boston, or Philadelphia. It was a city built by indigenous people long before those names even existed. To understand why Cahokia still captures the imagination of archaeologists and historians, we need to explore the mysteries that remain unsolved, the puzzles that make this ancient city feel almost otherworldly. Because the truth is, we know a lot, but there's even more that we don't know. And that mystery, that's what makes Cahokia unforgettable. Mystery number 1, the sudden Big Bang. Archaeologists call the rapid rise of Cahokia the Cahokian Big Bang. Why? Because a massive transformation happened almost overnight. A new ruling class emerged. A new religion spread. New building styles appeared. Neighborhoods reorganized. People migrated into the city in huge numbers. But why did this happen? Was it a visionary leader? A spiritual awakening? A celestial event interpreted as a divine message? A climatic shift that pushed thousands toward fertile river valleys? Nobody knows. It's one of the biggest puzzles in pre-Columbian history. Mystery number 2. The Birdman Burial. Inside Mound 72, archaeologists uncovered one of the most extraordinary graves in ancient North America. A man, likely an elite or priest, laid upon a bed of 20,000 shell beads arranged in the shape of a giant bird, possibly the legendary Birdman, a powerful figure in Mississippian mythology. This wasn't just a burial. This was a statement, a symbol of divine authority, a connection to the sky realm. A reminder that Cahokia's rulers held spiritual power. But around him were more than 250 other burials, including many young women. Were they attendants? Sacrificial offerings? Members of a competing faction? Victims of ritual ceremony? No one knows for sure. The Birdman Burial remains one of the most chilling and fascinating discoveries in American archaeology. Mystery number 3, the Cosmic Blueprint. When researchers mapped Cahokia with satellite imaging and ground scanning equipment, they discovered something incredible. The entire city was built with astronomical precision. Mounds aligned with the sun. Districts organized along cardinal directions. Plazas laid out with geometric accuracy. Monk's Mound wasn't placed randomly. It anchors the whole site like the centerpiece of a cosmic calendar. Woodhenge wasn't just a circle. It marked summer solstice, winter solstice, equinoxes, ceremonial dates, agricultural seasons. The city was a living clock, a cosmic map, a spiritual machine. But how did they calculate it? No metal tools, no written mathematics, no telescopes. Yet the precision rivals ancient Egypt and Mesoamerica. This remains one of Cahokia's greatest enigmas. Mystery number 4, the final abandonment. The end of Cahokia raises more questions than answers. Imagine a city of 40,000 people, temples, ritual plazas, homes, markets, astronomical observatories, miles of mounds, and then silence. By the 1300s, the city was largely empty. But why? Possibility number 1. Megafloods. The Mississippi River may have unleashed massive floods, drowning farmlands, destroying homes, and forcing people to flee. Possibility number 2. climate chaos. Triering analysis shows severe droughts struck the region, catastrophic for a city dependent on corn. Possibility number 3, political breakdown. When resources became scarce, rival factions may have struggled for control. Possibility number 4, loss of faith. If spiritual leaders failed to keep cosmic order, the people may have lost trust in the religion that built the city. Possibility number 5, migration. People didn't simply disappear, they moved. They split into smaller communities, spreading Mississippian culture across the Midwest and Southeast. To this day, no single cause fully explains the city's decline. Cahokia simply slipped out of history, leaving behind its bones of earth and clay. The human side, what daily life was like. To make this civilization feel alive, let's step into the shoes of someone who lived there. A day in the life. A young Cahokian. Imagine a young woman named Akahi, living around 1200 AD. She wakes at dawn inside a family house made of woven mats and plastered clay walls. She helps her mother grind corn, the sound of wooden mortars echoing through the neighborhood. Her father prepares tools for trading. Her brothers carry firewood. Later in the day, Akahi joins thousands of others in the central plaza. Bird-masked dancers leap across the open space. Priests chant from temple mounds. Drums beat like thunder. She feels the power of the city, the unity of the people. The belief that they are the center of the world. At night, she sits near a fire, listening to elders tell stories of sky beings and serpent spirits. The glow of the flames reflects on the towering mounds behind her. For Akahi, Cahokia isn't mysterious. It isn't ancient. It isn't forgotten. It's home. It's life. It's the world. The workers. Men and women worked in pottery shops, stone workshops, shell bead studios, farming fields, construction crews for mounds. Some were long-distance traders who traveled hundreds of miles. Others were artisans creating ceremonial objects used in elite rituals. The elites. Cahokia had a class of religious political leaders who lived on top of the mounds, wore exotic shells, feathers, copper ornaments, hosted ceremonies, controlled food distribution, interpreted celestial signs. These were the people who claimed to speak with the spirits of the above world. The farmers. Most of the population grew corn, squash, sunflowers, beans. Their farms fed tens of thousands. But when food production suffered, the whole city suffered. The spread of Mississippian culture. Even after Cahokia entered, its influence didn't vanish. It radiated outward, shaping an entire cultural world. Across the southeastern and midwestern United States, archaeologists find similar pottery, similar mound types, similar symbols, similar legends. Some tribes still share stories of a time when their ancestors lived in a great city of the north. Cahokia may have fallen, but its memory became myth. The colonial era, when history was erased. When Europeans arrived, they encountered tribes with deep traditions of mound building. But colonial writers couldn't accept that Indigenous Americans were the descendants of a great civilization. So they invented myths. They said, Egyptians built the mounds. Norse explorers built them. A lost race built them. Survivors of Atlantis built them. Anything except the truth. These false myths persisted for centuries. Even museums in the 1800s promoted them. Only in the mid-1900s did archaeologists finally prove that the mounds were 100% Indigenous American achievements. Cahokia was slowly restored to its rightful place in history. The excavations, revealing the city. In the 1960s, construction companies tried to build highways across the Cahokia region. But before the earth movers came, archaeologists stepped in. They discovered entire neighborhoods, burial sites, ancient trash pits filled with pottery, ceremonial objects, evidence of rituals, massive wall systems, astronomical posts, animal remains, trade artifacts. Piece by piece, city block by city block, Cahokia reappeared. Today, only a fraction of the original city is excavated. Much of it still sleeps underground, waiting. The legacy, why Cahokia still matters. Cahokia is more than a lost city. It's a reminder of a truth that should never have been forgotten. North America had great civilizations long before European arrival. Civilizations with architecture, astronomy, religion, government, trade networks, art, complex societies. Cahokia proves that the story of America didn't begin in 1492. It began thousands of years earlier, with people who shaped the land, studied the stars, built cities from earth, and carried their stories from generation to generation. As the sun sets over the grassy mounds of Cahokia today, the wind whispers through the tall prairie grass. Children play near the base of Monk's Mound. Tourists walk the paths of ancient plazas. Tribal elders visit the grounds their ancestors once walked. And somewhere beneath the soil, the heartbeat of the old city still pulses. 1,000 years ago, Cahokia was the greatest city in North America. A city of skywatchers. A city of builders. A city of believers. A city of power. A city of mystery. Time buried it. But time could not erase it. Because some civilizations never truly disappear. They simply wait for us to remember.